One sunny Saturday afternoon, Emma and her best friend Jake were lounging in the living room, scrolling through their phones. Emma's stepmom, Dr. Collins, a psychology professor, burst in with an excited smile. "Hey, you two, I have a fun experiment for you," she said, her eyes sparkling with enthusiasm. "What kind of experiment?" Jake asked, intrigued. Dr. Collins explained, "I've been gathering interesting psychology facts, and I want you both to help me create a presentation. We'll explore how these facts can impact our daily lives." Emma exchanged glances with Jake, both feeling a mix of curiosity and trepidation. "Sounds cool. What do we need to do?" Emma asked. "First, I need you to pick 3 psychology facts from this list," Dr. Collins said, handing them a sheet filled with intriguing snippets about human behavior. "Then we'll come up with real-life scenarios to illustrate each fact." As they scanned the list, one fact stood out to Jake. People are more likely to remember information if it's presented in a story format. Emma nodded. "Let's use that. Stories always stick with people." They settled on 3 facts: the power of storytelling, the impact of color on mood, and the influence of social proof in decision-making. With each fact chosen, they brainstormed how to demonstrate them creatively. For the storytelling fact, they decided to create a short skit. Emma would play a nervous student, asking a teacher for help, while Jake would play the supportive teacher, using relatable anecdotes to make the advice memorable. Next, for the color impact, they envisioned a scenario in a cafe where the color scheme influenced customers' moods. They would have Emma wearing a bright yellow outfit, making people feel cheerful, while Jake would be in muted gray, leading to a more somber atmosphere. Finally, for social proof, they planned a scene in a mall where shoppers are drawn to a crowded store, convinced it must be the best due to its popularity. They imagined dramatizing the moment when someone hesitates before joining the throng. As they rehearsed, laughter echoed through the living room. Dr. Collins watched, impressed with their creativity and teamwork. "You're really capturing the essence of these facts," she said. After hours of preparation, they recorded their skits on Emma's phone, ensuring they captured the energy and humor they brought to each scenario. Later that evening, they gathered around the dining table to refine their presentation. The next day, Dr. Collins invited her colleagues to a small gathering to showcase their work. Emma and Jake, a bit nervous but excited, presented their skits, each fact clearly illustrated through their engaging performances. Laughter and applause filled the room as Dr. Collins beamed with pride. "You two did an amazing job. You made psychology come alive." As they basked in the success, Emma turned to Jake. "Who knew a day with my stepmom could turn into such an adventure?" Jake grinned. "Yeah, and we learned something cool along the way." They spent the rest of the evening discussing what they enjoyed most about the experiment and how they could apply those psychology facts in their own lives. The day became a cherished memory, reminding them that learning could be just as fun as it was educational. The aftermath. New adventures in psychology. After the successful presentation, Emma and Jake found themselves buzzing with excitement. The experience had sparked a newfound interest in psychology, and they were eager to explore more. A few days later, Emma approached Jake at school. "What if we start a psychology club? We could dive deeper into these concepts and maybe even do some experiments of our own." Jake's eyes lit up. "That's a great idea. We could invite other students and have discussions, even conduct fun activities. We could learn a lot." They decided to set up a meeting in the school library after classes. Emma created colorful flyers to attract attention, using bright colors to reflect their new knowledge about the impact of color on mood. Jake helped her brainstorm catchy phrases like, "Unlock the secrets of your mind." The day of the first meeting, they were nervous but excited. As students filtered in, Emma noticed a mix of curiosity and apprehension on their faces. Jake, always the outgoing one, took the lead. "Welcome everyone. We're here to explore the fascinating world of psychology together. Today, we'll start with something simple: how emotions can affect your decisions." They launched into an interactive discussion, asking everyone to share their experiences with emotions influencing choices. One student spoke about how she always picked sweet snacks when she was happy, while another shared how stress led him to procrastinate. Emma and Jake guided the conversation using the psychology facts they had learned. They introduced fun activities, like color psychology experiments, where students rated their moods after being surrounded by different colors. As the weeks went by, the club grew in popularity. They organized activities like mindfulness sessions, discussions on famous psychological studies, and even invited Dr. Collins for a Kwanda session. The students began to bond, sharing their thoughts and personal stories, creating a supportive environment. One afternoon, Emma had an idea. Let's conduct a real experiment. We can explore how peer influence affects decision-making by setting up a mock voting booth. Jake nodded enthusiastically. We can present different scenarios where they have to choose between options based on what their friends think. They created a plan, outlining how they would present scenarios in small groups, allowing participants to discuss before making their choices. On the day of the experiment, the club members gathered excitedly. Emma and Jake set up the booth, ready with a series of relatable scenarios, such as choosing a movie to watch or a snack to share. As students participated, Emma noticed how quickly opinions changed when friends chimed in. Afterward, they held a discussion to reflect on the findings. Many students expressed surprise at how easily they were swayed. I didn't think I'd change my mind just because my friends felt strongly about something, one student remarked. Jake smiled. That's the power of social proof. It's fascinating how our decisions can be influenced by those around us. As the school year progressed, the psychology club became a hub of creativity and exploration. Emma and Jake developed a reputation for making learning fun and accessible, leading to more students showing interest in psychology and its real-world applications. By the end of the year, they planned a showcase where they would present their findings and activities to the entire school. They invited Dr. Collins as a guest speaker, making the event a celebration of their hard work and discoveries. On the day of the showcase, the gym was filled with students, teachers, and parents. Emma and Jake stood at the front, beaming with pride. They shared their favorite experiments, the impact of their activities, and the friendships they had built along the way. As they concluded their presentation, Emma looked at Jake, her heart full. We did this together, and it all started with that day in the living room with my stepmom. Jake grinned. And who knew we'd inspire so many people to explore their minds? The applause that followed was thunderous, a testament to their success. Emma and Jake realized that not only had they learned about psychology, but they had also created a community that valued curiosity and connection. As the year wrapped up, they promised each other that they would continue their exploration of psychology, no matter where life took them next. A summer of discovery. As summer rolled in, Emma and Jake felt a mix of excitement and nostalgia. The psychology club had become such a significant part of their lives, and they didn't want the momentum to fade during the break. One afternoon, as they sat in Emma's backyard, brainstorming summer plans, Jake suggested, "What if we organize a summer camp focused on psychology? We could invite kids from the neighborhood and teach them what we've learned." Emma's eyes lit up. "That's brilliant. We could do activities, games, and even some mini experiments. We could call it Mind Camp." They spent the next few weeks planning the camp. They designed a week-long schedule filled with activities like art therapy, team-building games, and even a session on emotional intelligence. They reached out to local kids and promoted the camp on social media, excited about the chance to share their passion. On the first day of Mind Camp, the sun shone brightly as children arrived, buzzing with energy. Emma and Jake welcomed them, introducing the camp and explaining what psychology was all about. The kids were curious, asking questions and sharing their own experiences. The first activity focused on emotions. They created an emotion wheel where each child picked a color and shared a time they felt that emotion. The stories varied from joy to frustration, sparking laughter and empathy among the group. Next, they organized a fun art session where kids expressed their feelings through drawings. Emma was amazed at the creativity on display. Look at how everyone interprets emotions differently, she said to Jake, who nodded, impressed. As the week progressed, they introduced concepts like mindfulness and stress management. They led meditation sessions in the backyard, helping the kids learn to relax and be present. The transformation was palpable. By the end of the week, they could see the kids' confidence growing. On the final day of Mind Camp, Emma and Jake decided to conduct a group experiment to demonstrate social proof. They set up a scenario where kids had to choose between two activities: a team sport or a quiet reading session. They planted some kids to enthusiastically advocate for the sport, creating a buzz. As they observed, Emma noticed how quickly the other kids were swayed by the excitement. "It's incredible how group dynamics work," she whispered to Jake, who was grinning. After the experiment, they gathered everyone for a closing circle where the campers shared their favorite moments. One little girl exclaimed, "I loved the art day. It helped me feel happy." As the camp wrapped up, Emma and Jake reflected on the experience. "We really made a difference," Emma said, feeling proud. "These kids learned a lot, and so did we." Jake nodded, "And we got to explore more of what psychology means. This is just the beginning." They decided to continue their journey, planning to host monthly meetups throughout the summer. They invited local guest speakers, explored new topics, and even started a book club centered around psychology-themed books. As the weeks passed, they solidified their bond, diving deeper into discussions about what they wanted to do in the future. Emma expressed her desire to study psychology in college, while Jake dreamed of becoming a therapist, helping others understand their minds. One evening, as they sat under the stars, Jake turned to Emma. "I never expected that a simple idea would lead us here. It's amazing how far we've come." Emma smiled, "And it all started with a spark of curiosity and the support of my stepmom. We've learned so much, and there's still so much more to discover." The summer of discovery became a pivotal moment in their lives, shaping their ambitions and solidifying their friendship. They knew that no matter where their paths led, they would always have a shared passion for psychology and a commitment to making a difference. New challenges and opportunities. As summer began to wind down, Emma and Jake felt a mix of excitement and anxiety about the upcoming school year. They had grown so much through Mind Camp and their continued explorations of psychology, but they also knew that high school would bring new challenges. One afternoon, while they were hanging out at their favorite coffee shop, Emma brought up the idea of expanding their efforts.